Well, here we are. Another all-nighter. Fucking with this shit. Got my 357 put back together. Made a few changes while I was at it. Decided to go with some gold Moroso shit. Just gold Moroso shit here is old as time. But I'm not one of those kind of motherfuckers that's gotta have everything mint condition, brand new, spotless. I'm not trying to win the world of fucking wheels or any car shows or any shit like that. I'm just trying to go fucking fast. Entertain myself. Adrenaline rush. So this shit works for me. This is late 70s Moroso shit. I got the intake back on there. Little tip on the intake. Instead of using them big 3/8 with the 9/16 head bolts, shit can that. Get you some header bolts, CAD plated, 1-inch long header bolts, and of course flat washers. And they make the perfect fucking intake bolts. They just look so much cleaner. And that's a 3/8 head on there, so you get more access. You throw 9/16 head like on this motherfucker here. Wrench get in there tight on your intake. So it gives you more clearance for getting a wrench and shit in there. These old Morosos here, I've had them fucking forever. These are authentic old shit. Got the authentic old shit. Air cleaner too. Threw a new filter in it. Figured I could do that much. Got everything sealed back up. This engine has got a black and gold theme going on. I like black and gold together. It's got a good look to it. Seems to match. Just enough aluminum and shit thrown in there for contrast. But I've always liked that Moroso shit. Moroso shit nowadays though, that old gold, even the blue and the red and the black and the regular aluminum non-anodized, shit's all gotten expensive as hell now. I remember buying them fucking valve covers brand new in the box for like $25 a pair. Brand fucking new. Shit. There's people out there wanting crazy money for them fucking things. Especially new old stock. But I got all the valve training I shit canned the crane stud girdles. I just went without no stud girdles at this point. Fuck it. I just went over the valve train, put regular poly locks on it, cinched it all down, and call it good. Maybe later on I'll revisit that. I have a set of crane, new old stock crane gold rollers I want to put on this engine, so I get some different poly locks that are tall, that'll hold those fucking girdles, but have the lock nut in them. That'll be much better arrangement, but for now, just shit canned it. It'll work fine. I'm ready to get this engine running in the car. Here's the headers that I'm going to use on it in the vehicle. Those are Schoenfield 1 7/8" primary, 3.5 inch collector. They're street stock. If you buy them, that's what you buy them as. Street stock oval track headers, but they work real good for drag racing too. They're 1 7/8", but they bolt to a standard exhaust pattern. Fucking around a little bit out here. Building another carburetor. I'm gonna put this on this 357 over here, but the shipping got fucked around in this holiday. Got me put off another day, so I'm building me another carb for it. It's just a double pumper. This fucking carburetor here, I bought it a while back. It was a 750 HP Holley. Nice fucking carburetor, brand new. But evidently it was purchased by a new enthusiast, and they gorilla torqued one of the the fuel line fittings going into the front bowl. Here it is. It's all nice and fucking stripped out and shit. Probably be fixed, but for now it was just easier just to buy a fucking new one. So you got this fucked up bowl, and then they gorilla torqued the fucking secondary squirter. I went to change the squirters and it went to tighten it down, and the fucker was stripped out on me. So I just bought this Profrom main body. Used the 750 HP base plate and meter and blocks. That's the 750 rear bowl. I got an identical replacement. I guess that'll be here tomorrow. whenever the fucking mail runs again. I'm gonna put me another unit together here. This will be a fresh double pumper. And that's gonna go on the 357 I'm working on over here. That'll be a good carb. It's got the jet extensions in the rear and the notch bolt float and shit. Good piece. That's the way I prefer to build carbs anymore though. Hell, I got that 750 HP carburetor. It was a brand new fucking carburetor. Very expensive. I think they're going $700-800 now. I paid like $200 for it. And then I got about close to 200 in that main body. And then I bought a bowl for $52. So let's call that $250, and then I got a new kit to freshen it up, and that was like $60. So there's fucking, call it $310, and then $200 for the core, so $510 in this carburetor. And you can't buy a carburetor like this for $510. And this fucker will be, it's new. And it'll work like a champ. If you know how to work on carburetors, it's pretty simple fucking shit. I mean, these Holleys are simple as it gets. I got 74 jets in the front and 84s in the back. And yeah, all that shit is brand fucking new. Somebody got a little over enthusiastic with it and fucked it up. And so they lost my game. But I still got over $500 in that fucking carburetor. But like I said, it'll be, you can't buy them for that. And it'll work. Let me get on this unit here. Yeah, I went ahead and went with the fucking gold Moroso shit. Main reason I did was fucking cheaped out. I like to use quart gaskets on most of my valve covers and shit. These are the Morosos I had on this fucking engine. But the goddamn gaskets, I got them cheap on eBay, and I silicone them to the valve cover and then leave the bottom side clean so I can peel the valve covers on and off and reuse the gaskets for checking the valve train and shit, and not have to buy new gaskets every time. But when I glued them fucking Chinese valve cover, quart valve cover gaskets on there, the bolt holes didn't quite fucking line up right. I glued some bitches on there anyway, and I figured it'd be okay. And then I stuck them on this engine, but when I peeled them off, I noticed that they were fucking, had a little seepage around them, and where them bolt holes wasn't lining up was where mainly the action was at. So I'm just gonna fucking peel them Chinese fucking gaskets off and put some good Moroso gaskets or something on there. I'll use them on another engine. Probably this one here. These dart heads. Dart intake. Yeah, I decided to go with my old vintage gold Moroso shit. I got a hell of a collection of that shit. I've been rat holing for years. I got big block Chevy, small block Chevy, Pontiac, all kind of fucking. I got a collection of Moroso oil pans built up over the years. Now this one here, it's fucking. I cleaned it up and painted it to match an engine I built years ago, but that's about a 40-year-old fucking oil pan right there. But I like collecting old antique hot rod parts. It just takes me back, I guess. This looks pretty good to me with the gold shit all over it. I'm pretty pleased with it. I changed the plug wires. Had a fucking dead hole on my truck and figured out I had a bad fucking plug wire, so I just took the plug wires off this engine and stuck them on my truck. Pulled these plug wires off of this engine, and then I'll just get another set for this one. But this one, it's gonna be dormant for a minute. And I'm gonna get this one fired back up one more time before I put it back in the car, make sure ain't got no leaks and shit. A lot easier to catch them out of the fucking car than after you get it bolted in. It's just your basic no shit small block Chevy. I got the 750 vacuum secondary still on here, but so I'm building a double pumper over here for it. This unit, as I get the rest of the fucking parts. And I got that big cumbersome ass oil pressure gauge off and got this unit rigged up so get an accurate oil pressure reading, which that other gauge was reading way fucking high. This thing actually holds like 65 pounds at idle, 80 plus under load. Got an SFI flex plate on it. These are Moroso plug wires also, Ultra 40s. They work pretty good for me. It's a Brodix BM1000 intake manifold. And your plug wires though, I like to run them underneath the headers. They're just less likely to burn shit. Looks cleaner. I can't stand plug wires all over every fucking thing. Whole engine covered. I made that little bracket there from the throttle return spring. Just out of some shit I had laying around. That old vacuum secondary carb there, a lot of people don't like them, but that one there, you get it out on the road and stomp down on it, and that fucker responds. It's a good one. Got my Profrom coil and shit and cap and shit on here now. So when I changed my wires, I just pulled the cap and wires and everything and swapped it over. And fucking Taylor's. It's these wires here. But I gotta say, the older you get, you start losing track of years and shit, and how these fucking wires are probably at least 10 years old, so I guess they serve their purpose. But I was wondering why I had one fucking cylinder down. Couldn't figure it out for a minute. I like the shit out of this engine. I'm not really a small block. I mean, it's hard to believe looking around. I build small block Chevys because it's what I can afford. But I like Pontiacs and Oldsmobiles and Buicks and shit as much or better. But there's no denying the power of the big block Chevy, so I ain't stupid. The baddest engines I have are big block Chevys. I have a few of them under construction as we speak. Glad to have this fucker put back together, and now I gotta get the car ready to fucking go. I gotta get this fucking transmission ready to go. I think I'm gonna run with that 350 turbo there. Just gonna put some good shit in it and see how it acts. I think it'll be alright. It's a good build. Put it behind this unit, which when I put the big block in it, of course, it's gonna get the big block transmission. But with these small blocks, you can still build a 350 turbo up to handle quite a bit of shit. So I tore one up one time. I split that motherfucker, broke the case in 3 places. That fucking transmission come out of the car in 3 segments. That's the last time I used a 350 turbo. Plus it bucked the floor of the car up pretty good. The drive shaft come apart, broke the fucking rear end. It was mass carnage. And I've been a 400 turbo guy ever since, but I really like manual transmissions. There it is, 350